Oh my God, Carly. You will not believe what I found.
What did you find, Danielle?
Okay, so you know how in the adult department we have books?
Yes.
And they're hard on the outside, and then they've got like paper on the inside with like lots of words in them, and like maybe sometimes there's a picture if it's like a historical book or something.
Yeah.
I found this book. It's made of cardboard, Carly.
Yes. Those are board books, Danielle.
Carly, it has pictures on every single page.
Yes.
And look, there are like only 3 words on here. And Carly, do you know what the best bit is?
What?
This book, it squeaks.
I am quite familiar with board books that squeak and make very interesting noises.
Carly, what?
Yeah, Danielle, you can learn all about board books on Shelf Improvement.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Shelf Improvement. Today I have Carly with me. Carly is our new children's librarian, and she is going to talk to us about board books. So, Carly, what is a board book, and how is it different from your average picture book?
So that's a great question. So board books are actually intentionally made for babies and toddlers. So they're made with this really thick, very sturdy paperboard. They're really safe because they have these nice rounded edges. And the intention is more about little ones learning how books work and developing their literacy and a love for books. And they're different because they're also tiny. So it's much easier for a little baby or a toddler to hold this book and to kind of learn to turn the pages.
Great. So now that I know what a board book is, the next question is always, how do I pick out a good book? So what is a good board book?
So with board books, I always like to say that short and sweet is better. For a book like this, there's very few words on each page. There's nice, bright illustrations, or in this case, there's photographs. Little ones love to see pictures of other kids and doing things and making expressions. There's minimal stuff going on in the background, and it reads really quickly. It's fabulous because board books are wonderful for repeat readings. Little ones, if they find a book they love, they'll want to hear it a lot of times. So the faster you can get through it, the better, because chances are when you finish it, they're going to want to hear it again. So something like this with wonderful photographs, or something that has nice, bright illustrations and really keep little ones visually engaged. This kind of makes a great board book. And in terms of subject, I always like to say something that board books are great if they introduce kids to colors or shapes, or even just faces of different family members. Something very simple like that is excellent for a board book.
Great. So short and sweet and simple is key.
Absolutely.
So the littles that you're talking about, the kids, they develop very, very quickly. Like a 3-month-old is wildly different from a 6-month-old.
Right.
So how would you expect children to interact with board books as they move through all of these different developmental stages that they're growing through so quickly?
Sure. So I always like to remind caregivers that even their littlest ones can benefit from board books. Now, some people will think, well, I'm not going to read to my 2-month-old because they don't really know what's going on. But of course, even though they might not be able to see the pictures too well or actually look at the book if you're reading it to them, they're hearing your voice. They're understanding that somebody reading this story to them is a safe and wonderful experience. It kind of develops this love for early literacy. And even as they are small, you can kind of put the book in front of them as they're on the floor playing. The illustrations will be nice and clear and up close for them. They'll get to see them. They'll get excited. And then as they start to get a little bit older, they'll learn to kind of manipulate the book. So one of the ways that kids manipulate the book is they might kind of tap on it. Little ones will kind of learn how to hit a book with open hands. And definitely what happens with little ones is that they will chomp and chew and sort of mouth the book. Yep, that's actually a very common way for little ones to engage with board books. It's very much about sensory exploration, and at the library we always expect that the board books in our collection will be very well loved in that way. And even when kids get a little bit older, as they start to kind of learn, this is the front of the book. If they bring a story over for you to read to them, they'll hand it to you like this rather than like this, because they'll know the book opens this way, and they'll start to learn how to turn the pages, and they'll really enjoy doing that. And this one is a little bit larger, which is maybe good for an older toddler, but especially a book that is really small is wonderful for little hands. And these nice sturdy pages really help kids learn how to actually turn from one page to the next. So board books are fabulous for understanding how books work, developing a love of early literacy, and we have a huge board book collection at the library, and we're always adding to it. We know how much caregivers appreciate early literacy and having these resources for their littlest ones.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining me and telling me about board books. As an adult librarian, I don't interact with board books a lot, and it was fascinating to learn more about what they do and all of the safety features included in books for the little kids.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. Thank you for having me, Danielle. This was great to talk about.
Hello, and welcome to Thing of the Month, the section of the show where we talk about things that the library can help you access that aren't books. This month, we're talking about snap circuits, which are available through our Library of Things. Snap circuits are a really quick and easy way for kids and adults to learn about circuits and electronics without having to use a soldering iron, which can be really, really dangerous. Snap circuits are super fun. I've got one right here that I set together for us already. And as you can see, it's just a grid with little pieces that pop on and pop off. So again, it's really, really safe for kids. It's easy for adults. You're not going to burn yourself. And you can build all sorts of really fun things with this. For example, right here, I've put together a little fan that when you turn it on, oops, spins and pops right off. It's a flying saucer. You can build hundreds of different projects with these. We have 2 different kits. Each comes with a booklet, so you don't have to make up circuits on your own. And they are just wildly fantastic. I have to admit, I have spent definitely a couple of hours just playing around with that, learning about circuits and electronics. You should definitely check them out. Again, they are available in our Library of Things, which is on the lower level of the library. You can also place a hold on them in our catalog. Thank you so much for joining me for this month's Thing of the Month. Hello, and welcome to our special guest this month. This month, our special guest is Carly Moniz, who is our new children's librarian. Welcome to Shelf Improvement, Carly.
Thanks for having me, Danielle.
So you are new to us,
Yes.
which is fantastic. And you work in the children's department with Ms. C, who used to be our children's librarian.
Correct.
So what is it that you do in the children's department?
So a little bit of everything, which is probably one of my favorite things about children's librarianship. I get to plan a lot of programs for different age groups. I do a lot of book ordering, so I get to add wonderful books to our collection, create crafts, and just do sort of a huge variety of different things.
That sounds fantastic. You've always got something new going on.
Yes.
So how did you decide that you wanted to be a children's librarian and work with the kids?
I think I was kind of always heading in that direction. It just took me a long time to realize it. I always thought I'd go into teaching. After I graduated college, I taught abroad for a year, and I kind of decided teaching wasn't quite for me, so when I came home, I was nannying in the meantime, and I've always worked with kids and families, and I was actually sitting at a story time with a little one on my lap, and I really had this sudden realization, looking at the librarian, reading the book, that that was exactly what I wanted to be doing. So I decided to pursue librarianship, and it was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Well, that's so heartwarming. So the children's department, as anybody who is a regular visitor there knows, is going through a lot of changes recently. You're rearranging things and you're getting new stuff, and it's all very, very exciting. So what is one of your favorite new parts of the collection or items in that room that you're just really excited to have now?
Yeah, for me, and not that it's quite a new collection, but as I started, Missy and I talked about me sort of taking over the graphic novel collection, which I'm super excited to curate because I'm a graphic novel reader. I love comics. I love what they're doing for kids. There's so much amazing storytelling and art happening for young ones. So we've been able to expand that collection, make it a little bit easier for patrons to browse, and I've had a lot of free reign to kind of add to the collection, and I'm very excited about what we're doing with it. I definitely am in the camp that graphic novels are reading, full stop. If that is what someone wants to read always and forever, I am supportive of that. But I also recognize that for a lot of kids, graphic novels can be sort of a gateway to reading other types of books, nonfiction or chapter books. So I get to see kids really be empowered when they find these graphic stories that they love, and then also watch them as they discover different kinds of books that they want to read. So I'm really excited to be kind of part of strengthening that collection.
So in the children's department, you are really broadening the number of formats that are available to kids so that you can really suck them into reading, whether they're starting with graphic novels or starting with the wonder books that I know are so popular there. We really just want to get them hooked.
Yeah.
So in addition to all of the materials that you are providing in the children's department, you guys also do a lot of programming and events. What is a new program that you have started recently that you are just so excited about?
So one that I'm really excited about is the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade book club. So that group is meeting once a week, and probably my favorite thing about it is that it's very low pressure. We don't do assigned reading. The kids kind of just come and they talk about what books they've been reading. We make recommendations to each other. I'm trying to teach them how to book talk so that when they're ready to recommend a book to someone, they can kind of do it succinctly and effectively. And they have a lot of fun. It's really casual. We have some coloring pages, so we kind of color, we talk about books. I will always pull a selection of some newer books as well as some older titles and sort of talk them up. And it's wonderful because I have a couple regulars who come and I'll be halfway through talking about a book and their hand is already reaching out and sort of like, gimme, I want to take that one home with me. So they're really excited about books and reading. And I love that it's a comfortable space for them to talk about what they like about books. And they are very opinionated. If they don't like something, they'll tell you why. And I love that for them. It feels like a really safe, comfortable space to kind of develop friendships with others who like to read, and just to know that whatever they're reading is valid and that I'm excited to hear about it and happy to give them more ideas about what to read next.
Well, that's so exciting. You and Missy do such a good job in the children's department. I am always blown away by the stuff that you folks come up with. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to come and chat with me about some of the new things that you guys are working on.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome to On the Horizon, the part of the show where we talk about something new that's going on at the library. You may have noticed recently, if you've been on our catalog, that things look a little bit different, and I'm going to talk about that today. We just got a new overlay for our catalog called Aspen, and what it does is it helps make looking for books a little bit easier for you. There are 3 major changes that I'm going to cover today, but there are lots of tiny little improvements that you will notice as you continue to look for books and use your catalog on our website. The first change that I want to talk about is the very front page of our catalog. When you first open our catalog, you'll notice that the search bar is still in its familiar place, but there are also things called categories, and these are these big boxes on the front screen that you can click on to look at different lists that librarians have put together for you. For example, here we have new books for adults, new books for teens, new books for kids, and you can click on those and then click on the subcategories under them to explore all of the new books that the library has to provide for you. As we go throughout the year, you may notice new categories here that relate to the time of year or different initiatives that the library or the town has going on. So this is always a good place to check in and see what new things librarians have curated for you to take a peek at. The second thing that I want to show you is that when you do a search for a book, the catalog is now going to group together all of the formats of that book to make finding which format you want to read in easier. So for example, if I do a search for a particular title, you'll see that when that title appears in the list of results, all of the different formats will be grouped together. So for example, here we see that there's a paper book, there's an ebook, there's an audio book, there may be a couple other formats, and it also shows you the wait lists or whether these items are available. This means that if you really, really want to read a book, you can do a search for it and then see which list is shorter, or even if it's available at the library or available as an ebook, and you might be prompted to try another format that you wouldn't normally use. You can also place a hold directly from here on whichever format you decide you would like to read it in. The third change that I want to talk about is the change to your account interface. When you log into your account to look at how many books you have checked out, your due dates, any overdue fines, or anything like that, this is also going to look a little bit different. You'll notice that the interface has changed a little bit and it may be a little bit easier to read. Some things are in slightly different places, and if you're having trouble with something, you can always stop by the library and ask a librarian to help show you where these new things are. Thank you so much for joining me for this exploration of our catalog, and don't forget to join us next month to see what we're doing then.
I'm a librarian. Of course I can't get through my to-be-read pile. I wear glasses.
Am a raging nerd.
I have 4 cats. Have a favorite puppet. Say hello to Cynthia. Have a book tattoo. Like quiet. Think the book is better than the movie. I read about library.
But wait! Oh, hi Percy! This month, we want a picture of you with your favorite children's book. Bonus points if it includes a puppy. See you next time!